You think you'd never fall for it. But 30 million people believed their king was literally a god. For 3,000 years. No elections, no revolutions, no system reset. Just one belief, holding an entire civilization together. So here's the real question. Was ancient Egypt a miracle of human achievement, or one of the most effective control systems ever built? Stick around, because the answer might make you question a few things closer to home. Section 1. The system behind the pyramids. Everyone knows the pyramids, the gold, the tombs, the mystery, but that's the surface. Underneath it was something far more calculated, a structure of politics, religion, and economics, engineered to run itself for millennia. And at the center of it stood one man, the Pharaoh. Not just a king, a living god. Which raises an uncomfortable question. How do you challenge a ruler when you're told challenging him is a sin against the universe itself? Section 2. Why God King was the ultimate hack. Here's the part most people miss. The Pharaoh wasn't just a political leader. He was an idea. And ideas are cheaper to maintain than armies. If people believe obeying their ruler is the same as obeying the gods, you don't need constant force. You just need belief. And belief doesn't ask for a paycheck. It doesn't retire. It doesn't rebel. That's not leadership. That's design. Section 3. Who actually built the pyramids? Let's clear up a myth. Movies love showing pyramids built by thousands of chained slaves. The reality was more organized, and in some ways more unsettling. Most workers were seasonal farmers, working during the months the Nile flooded their fields anyway. They were fed, housed, and organized into labor crews with names, rankings, and quotas. Not free workers in the modern sense. But not the chaos Hollywood sells either. It was something else entirely. A state machine. Efficient, bureaucratic, precise. Less whips, more paperwork. Section 4. Religion as infrastructure. Now here's where it gets interesting. In Egypt, religion wasn't separate from government. It was the operating system underneath it. Priests didn't just perform rituals, they explained the world. Floods, droughts, famine. Every unpredictable disaster had a divine explanation. And once people believe every hardship has a cosmic reason, they stop questioning the system. They start questioning themselves. That's not just belief anymore. That's dependency. Section 5. The Nile as the original subscription model. Everything in Egypt revolved around one river. Every year the Nile flooded, fertile soil appeared, crops grew, and the state collected its share, grain, labor, resources, which meant survival itself ran through the system. Step outside it, and you didn't just lose status, you lost access to food. So rebellion wasn't just dangerous, it was economically irrational. Section 6. How does something last 3,000 years? This is the real mystery. Most empires collapse within a few centuries. Egypt lasted longer than almost anything in recorded history. Why? Because it wasn't built on one pillar. It was stacked. A predictable river, a rigid administration, an unquestionable religion, a controlled economy. Stack enough stability on top of stability, and collapse becomes almost impossible. Not impossible, just very, very unlikely. Section 7. The price of that stability. But nothing this stable is free. A system built to last this long doesn't survive by accident. It survives through hierarchy, through obedience, through belief systems specifically designed to make questioning the system feel dangerous, or even sinful. So yes, Egypt gave us incredible art, architecture, and engineering. But it also built something else. A society where challenging the foundation was almost unthinkable. Section 8. the part that should make you uncomfortable. Here's the twist. Every one of these mechanisms still exists today. Belief systems that discourage questioning? Still here. Economic dependency that keeps people compliant? Still here. Authority figures presented as untouchable? Still here. The names changed. The structure didn't. So what was ancient Egypt really? A miraculous civilization? Or one of the earliest, most refined systems of control in human history? Maybe it's both, because the most powerful systems in history were never the ones that forced people. They were the ones people chose to believe in. Which brings us back to that question from the start. You said you'd never fall for a lie like that. But if a system like this existed right now, weighed competing options before selecting optimal choice, I'd go with option 5. You think you'd never fall for it, but 30 million people believed their kin. Would you even recognize it? Or would you just call it normal life? If this made you see ancient Egypt differently, hit subscribe, there's more like this coming. And drop a comment, genius civilization, or the first perfect control system in history. I'll read the best ones.